Hi everyone, and welcome back to the series documenting daily driving my 98 Toyota Hilux Surf diesel in the United States. We're still waiting on a title and registration to be road legal, but join me as we diagnose some issues with the vehicle in this video. Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. So this will be the first video in the series of daily driving the Toyota Hilux. So right now, still in the pre-daily driver stage. Currently, to register this vehicle, it's taking a little while. It didn't have a title initially when I bought it, so I'm currently waiting on a title, but that should be here soon. So in the meantime, I am going to be taking you through some of the things that I'm doing to get it road ready, addressing any issues. So let's get started. So one of the first issues that I noticed with this Hilux is the socket here, the 12-volt socket, was not working when I initially got it. It originally came with a GPS, an old GPS, and I couldn't get the GPS to turn on or anything. I tried a couple different items that plug into here and it wasn't working. So I addressed this problem, and I will show you how I fixed it. So if you come under the hood by the left battery, it's a fuse box, and your AC socket is located right there. So if you pull this off, pro tip, there's some pullers here for your fuses. That light blue fuse is the new one. I replaced the fuse. I tried to plug in the GPS that it came with again, and it actually blew right away. So I replaced it a second time and then tried something different because I thought maybe the GPS might be just pulling too much power, and that was the case, and now there's no issues with that. So the other issue that I was running into with the Hilux is with the HVAC controls. Apparently it's known that sometimes with these HVAC controls, buttons stick and things like that. That is not the case with mine. Whenever I turned on the vehicle, it would go into a diagnostic mode and indicate an error code 21. From looking that up online, that had to do with the solar sensor. If I started it in my garage, drove it outside, shut it off, and turned it back on, it would come up with no errors. It was just kind of stuck in diagnostic mode. Wasn't sure why, but after playing around with it for a while, there was some recommendations online that mentioned if you look in the fuses here and pull the fuse for ECUB, it would clear error codes, and you shouldn't have any issues with that in the diagnostic mode anymore. That was not the case for me. I pulled that, it didn't really do anything. It still started up every time in diagnostic mode. It was very annoying. But I finally figured out how to get it out of diagnostic mode, and now that it's out, it hasn't been going back into diagnostic mode. As you can see, the full temp range comes on here, and you can change the temperature. It's not in diagnostic mode even though it started up inside. Fan works, everything. So how did I do that? Well, after the ECU fuse pull and things like that, I saw a lot of different items online mentioning like hold the front defrost heater and the air greaser, and it would clear the error code you're facing. I did not have that at all. That didn't work for me. But what did work is if I held the off button before I put the key in the car, then turned and kept holding it, turned the key to accessory, and eventually started the vehicle, all while holding this off button, and it took it out of diagnostic mode. And now, ever since then, every time I've started up, it hasn't gone back into diagnostic mode. So that seems to be addressed. And then when I was diagnosing the HVAC system, I was doing a lot of starting and stopping of the car. But now, when you go to start it, you get a click. Sometimes you get a click. So I need to figure out why sometimes when you try to start it, it gets a click. I believe it's something to do with the starter. So here we are taking out the starter. I took off the miscellaneous covers down here. So there's 4 things that hold it in. The bolt that goes right here. It's a nut up top. That's a stud. Then the main electrical connection, you gotta disconnect the battery before you do this, and then this little hand plug. And some other people did it different ways, but we're gonna try to snake it out the bottom. So we got the starter out here. These copper contacts will have a plunger with some copper on the bottom that comes down and smacks these, and that causes the gear to engage. And what happens is these copper contacts get worn down. As you can see, this one on the right side is really worn down. So we're gonna replace these. Here's a photo of what the new copper contacts look like inside of the starter. All right, so we got the contacts changed inside the starter. We got the starter back and hooked up. Now we just need to reconnect the battery and test it out. Well, moment of truth. Perfect. We'll let this run for a little while and then we'll try it a couple more times. All right, second test. Instant startup. And the 12 volt is now working, and also the HVAC controls are no longer going into diagnostic mode. So stay tuned for the next episode. We'll have some more stuff to do, but right now we are slowly getting stuff done, getting this ready for the road. Thanks for watching. Bye.